is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I guess we can probably also say happy beta weekend. If you ain't downloaded it yet, I'm just gonna assume your internet is down and that you're watching this video in a cave somewhere very far away with internet connection for your phone or laptop only. But look, we got a ton of stuff to share in this video, like some pretty crazy stuff, alright? This is going to be really exciting, so please let's try and hit 9 likes and then just leave it at 9 likes, okay? We tried yesterday but failed within like the first 2 minutes, so that also means you should subscribe, as that is a good thing to do. So thank you very much in advance. But that being said, let's dive into this video. Like I said, we got some really cool things to share, so let's just kick it off. So I want to start off with something that I was completely unaware of until someone did actually share it on Reddit. But long story short, you can actually interrupt a teammate's move. As you see in the video in the background, it's basically Iron Man doing so to Hulk, which I think is cool in terms of like detail to the game, because that's what I got in the second part of this as well to show you. But like attention to detail and small features like that are really cool, but it's also more to like the challenge aspect of things. But the question is, do you think they should go ahead and remove it? Let me know below. Overall though, I'd say it's just fun in terms of the challenge side of things as opposed to actual missions, because I mean it's safe to say that even your buddies will probably at some point eventually troll you, and hopefully it won't be in a really serious situation in a mission, but nonetheless it's a small little attention to detail that I thought was really cool. And that takes me to the second part of this, where someone else also shared this cool clip that you see in the background that shows the attention to detail again, but this time with Thor. So as the person states here, if you throw Thor's hammer a long distance and you don't call it back, even though you can't visually see the hammer, it will actually hit the ground and then make the screen shake. Small detail, but so cool in terms of detail. Now to add to this, since this update as well that we got yesterday, which again was like a pretty big update for Xbox users, it was like 1 point something 4 gigabytes, and then on the PlayStation it was like really small. But a lot of people have actually been seeing a major difference too with the game's performance, which I think is great, and I actually think it's really cool that Crystal Dynamics did make this update as quick as they did, because it quite literally is a game changer. Now there also will be a pinging system in place for this game, at least maybe not in the beta as it stands off this weekend, but definitely at launch. So this is something that one of the creative directors called Phil said, and he is of course from Crystal Dynamics. He said this about a month ago on Reddit, and it's a small thing that I think is going to affect your gameplay experience so much. So his exact words were, "The campaign missions are specifically tailored for one or more Avengers, so you don't choose which hero you play there. We do have a ping system for war zones where you can tag enemies, loot, or places with it. We will talk about the DLC stuff later, but the goal is that new heroes can play any of the existing content." And then of course he was just saying that he's glad that people are excited about the game. But like I said, it's great to know that it will be a thing as far as pinging goes, because it's going to be so much easier when you're playing co-op. I couldn't really imagine this type of game without a pinging system, and I know considering, you know, we compare it in terms of its gameplay structure to like Destiny and even Anthem, like these are games with pinging systems, and I mean you just know how effective they are as well. It would just be so hard to literally explain to one of your teammates where something is, but nonetheless that's going to be a thing at launch, so if you were wondering where that feature is, it definitely is on its way. So moving on to the final part of the video, they got the deluxe edition early. So when I say they, it is actually the Japanese Square Enix YouTube account. They actually went ahead and uploaded the first ever unboxing on the deluxe edition, and I would be lying if I said it wasn't, you know, possibly the weirdest unboxing video I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie, it really was. Music was really just, I mean, it was just weird. It really was. I'll link it in the description below. But nonetheless, that said, they do show some pretty cool things, like the box itself, of course. Then they show the actual standard edition copy of the game, and then they switch that to the deluxe edition and a bunch more. So you can see, like, you've got the Avengers badge as well. There was also the Steelbook edition, a poster, and what was interesting again was Thor's hammer. They actually showed like a comparison in terms of the weight for it. So they basically put it on like these scales scales and actually compared the weight with like a handful of pennies, or I don't know, it was like loads of like 10p coins or cents, I guess you could say. I'm going to link the video in the description below so you can just go ahead and check it out for yourself. But I mean, it's pretty cool, especially if you are getting the deluxe edition. There definitely are a ton of things in there. Now, to actually end this video, we know a lot of people are literally max leveling all their characters as it stands, especially the people that were able to play the first week, of course, on PlayStation 4. But we've also seen some really interesting glitches, and glitches are always fun in any type of video game, and I think right here we got one of the most funniest, where it says Hulk is tired of using his legs to move, so instead he uses his fingertips, and as you can see, he quite literally does that in the GIF, which is pretty funny. Again, these glitches are really random in the game, but since this update that, like I said, we had yesterday, me personally, I could see a major difference. I mean, just with like the motion blur stuff, the screen shaking. I know there were people saying that the sweet spot is actually lowering that down to, I think it was like 5 off the top of my head, but again, if you were to literally turn it off, it's a bit weird. I think having the screen shaking is pretty effective when it does come down to combat, but nonetheless, I mean, they had to do it because again, it is the last ever weekend of the beta, so next weekend we're not going to have the beta. But that being said, the week after, of course, is officially launch week, so it's going to be interesting to see what bugs and glitches will get reported this week. I'm just glad that they were able to do this beta 3 weeks early, because in some sort of perspective, could you literally imagine if all of this stuff did happen on launch day? If it did, it would be absolutely crazy. And if you didn't check out yesterday's video as well, since this beta did actually become an open beta as well, all the pre-order sales literally spiked. So this, of course, is the second week of an open beta, and last week alone it was only for PlayStation users, and just with PlayStation users, they took it to #1 in the charts for the standard edition, and then the deluxe edition got to the #6 spot. So again, for a game that had a really awful start to their marketing, to then releasing the beta and getting a lot of complaints, it's safe to say that they kind of, you know, I guess racking the game up to be up to people's expectations. And again, I don't know if we're going to get something more interesting like one last trailer. Apparently the game's gone gold again. I did see all that stuff as well, so like TV spots and all that kind of stuff should typically realistically be happening over the next couple of days. And I don't personally think we're going to get that war table stream like they did say. It doesn't really matter too much now because we're so close to the release date. If they were to announce that, they would probably announce it, I guess, this weekend for next week, like midweek, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, or it could again literally be on the week of its release. But again, you guys get in the comments below, let me know which console you're playing this on and if you can see the difference since the update. But guys, it's going to wrap up this video here. As always, subscribe for more awesome content, and until the next one, adios amigos.